50 years ago, the world held its breath as humanity embarked on an audacious journey, a leap into the unknown that would forever change our perspective on the cosmos. The Apollo program wasn't just a series of missions. It was a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and an unyielding spirit of exploration. Picture this: a tiny spacecraft, a fragile shell of metal and technology, carrying brave souls into the vast, unforgiving expanse of space. These weren't just astronauts. They were pioneers, venturing where no one had gone before. As President John F. Kennedy famously declared, "We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard." And hard it was. The Cold War was raging, and the space race was a battleground of ideologies. The stakes were high, the tension palpable. Yet, against all odds, on July 20, 1969, Neil Armstrong stepped onto the lunar surface and uttered those immortal words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." This is the story of that journey, a tale of triumph, bravery, and the indomitable human spirit. Stick around, because this is a story you won't want to miss. The dawn of the space age. The Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union set the stage for an intense competition that extended beyond Earth's atmosphere. This rivalry, known as the space race, captured the world's imagination and drove rapid technological advancements. The Soviet Union's launch of Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, in 1957 sent shockwaves through the United States. It became clear that the space frontier was the new battleground for ideological supremacy. The stakes were high, and the pressure was on to prove technological prowess and national superiority. Amidst this tension, brave individuals volunteered to become astronauts, knowing the risks were immense. They were not just scientists or pilots. They were pioneers, venturing into the unknown. Their courage was palpable, a beacon of hope and determination. One such astronaut, John Glenn, famously said, "There's no place for the word impossible in the vocabulary of a space traveler." This sentiment echoed the spirit of the era, a time when the impossible seemed within reach. Each launch was a testament to human bravery, a leap into the great unknown. The tension reached its peak with the Apollo program, a bold endeavor to land humans on the moon. The world watched with bated breath as the Saturn V rocket roared to life, carrying the hopes and dreams of a nation. Astronauts like Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins became household names, their faces etched into the collective memory of humanity. The tension was palpable, the triumph immense. As Armstrong stepped onto the lunar surface, his words resonated around the globe. "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." It was a moment of triumph, a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. The dawn of the space age had truly begun, marking a new chapter in human history. The Cold War and the space race. The Cold War, a tense standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union, extended beyond Earth, igniting a fierce competition known as the space race. This rivalry was not just about political ideology. It was a battle for technological supremacy, national pride, and global influence. The Soviets struck first, launching Sputnik 1 in 1957, a small satellite that orbited Earth and sent shockwaves through the American scientific community. The U.S. felt the pressure to catch up, fearing that the Soviets might gain a strategic advantage. This fear was encapsulated by President Eisenhower's establishment of NASA in 1958, a direct response to the Sputnik crisis. Astronauts became the unlikely heroes of this high-stakes drama. They were not just scientists or pilots. They were pioneers, venturing into the unknown where no human had gone before. Their bravery was palpable, especially during the early days of spaceflight when the risks were immense and the outcomes uncertain. John Glenn, the first American to orbit Earth, captured the spirit of the era when he said, "There's no place for a coward in space." His words reflected the courage and determination of the astronauts who risked their lives for the sake of exploration and national pride. Each launch was a testament to their resolve, a daring leap into the cosmos that captivated the world. The tension reached its peak with the Apollo program, a bold U.S. initiative to land a man on the moon. The Soviets had already achieved several firsts, including the first human in space with Yuri Gagarin. The pressure was on for the U.S. to make a statement. When Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin stepped onto the lunar surface in 1969, it was a triumph not just for the U.S., but for humanity. Armstrong's words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," echoed around the world, symbolizing the culmination of years of hard work, innovation, and courage. The moon landing was a defining moment, a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of the unknown. It marked a turning point in the space race, proving that the sky was not the limit but merely the beginning. Eisenhower's open skies and the birth of NASA. The Cold War cast a long shadow over the mid-20th century, and with it came a tense standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union. This period saw a rapid escalation in technological advancements, particularly in the realm of aerospace. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States, found himself at the helm during this volatile time. His Open Skies proposal, aimed at promoting transparency and reducing tensions through mutual aerial surveillance, was a bold move. Though the Soviets rejected it, the idea underscored a growing awareness of the strategic importance of the skies, and eventually, space. Eisenhower's administration also laid the groundwork for what would become NASA. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration was born out of a need to consolidate and streamline America's scattered aerospace research efforts. The National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, NACA, which had been conducting research since 1915, was absorbed into NASA. This new agency was tasked with not just advancing aeronautics, but also exploring the final frontier, space. The bravery of the early astronauts, who volunteered for dangerous missions with little guarantee of return, cannot be overstated. These men, like the Mercury 7, embodied the spirit of exploration and sacrifice. Their willingness to venture into the unknown, armed with little more than courage and cutting-edge technology, set the stage for humanity's greatest leap. The tension between the U.S. and the Soviet Union reached a fever pitch with the launch of Sputnik in 1957. The Soviet Union's successful orbit of the first artificial satellite sent shockwaves through America. The perception that the U.S. was lagging behind in the space race spurred a sense of urgency and a surge in funding for NASA. The agency's mission became not just about scientific discovery, but also about national pride and security. The bravery of the astronauts, who faced immense risks, was matched by the ingenuity of the engineers and scientists who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. Their collective efforts culminated in the triumphant landing on the moon, a moment that captured the world's imagination and solidified America's position as a leader in space exploration. As Neil Armstrong famously said, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," encapsulating the triumph of human ingenuity and perseverance. Kennedy's bold challenge. The Cold War cast a long shadow over the mid-20th century, and nowhere was this more evident than in the space race. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a fierce competition, not just for ideological supremacy, but also for technological dominance. It was against this backdrop that President John F. Kennedy delivered his bold challenge to Congress on May 25, 1961. He proposed that the U.S. should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. This audacious statement set the stage for one of the most remarkable chapters in human history. The space race had begun in earnest with the launch of Sputnik 1 by the Soviet Union in 1957. The successful orbit of this artificial satellite sent shockwaves through the U.S., sparking fears of technological inferiority and national insecurity. The Soviets continued to make strides, with the first human in space, Yuri Gagarin, orbiting the Earth in 1961. It was this relentless Soviet progress that prompted Kennedy's challenge. He saw the moon as the ultimate prize, a symbol of American ingenuity and determination. The stakes were high, and the pressure was immense. Failure was not an option. The astronauts who volunteered for the Apollo program were the epitome of bravery. They knew the risks, the technology was untested, and the journey was fraught with danger. Yet, they stepped forward, ready to face the unknown. Men like Alan Shepard, John Glenn, and Neil Armstrong became household names, their courage inspiring a nation. Armstrong's famous words as he stepped onto the lunar surface, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," echoed around the world, a testament to human achievement. The tension of the landing, the triumph of the moment, and the sheer audacity of the endeavor captured the imagination of millions. It was a triumph not just for the US, but for humanity. The Mercury program, first steps. The Mercury program marked the beginning of humanity's journey into space, a bold response to the intensifying space race between the United States and the Soviet Union. The Cold War context fueled a fierce competition, with each superpower eager to prove technological superiority. The Soviets had already achieved a significant victory with the launch of Sputnik in 1957, and the US was determined to catch up. The Mercury program was born out of this urgency, aiming to put a human in space and bring them back safely. It was a monumental task, fraught with unknowns and dangers, but the bravery of the astronauts involved was unparalleled. 7 astronauts were selected for the Mercury program, each a seasoned test pilot with the right stuff to face the challenges ahead. They were Alan Shepard, Gus Grissom, John Glenn, Scott Carpenter, Wally Schirra, Gordon Cooper, and Deke Slayton. These men knew the risks. They were pioneers venturing into the unknown. Shepard became the first American in space aboard Freedom 7, a suborbital flight that lasted just 15 minutes but marked a significant milestone. His famous words, "Why? The view is magnificent," captured the awe and wonder of that historic moment. The tension was palpable, not just for the astronauts, but for the entire nation watching and waiting. The Mercury program wasn't just about reaching space. It was about learning how to operate in this new environment. Each mission built upon the last, with incremental advances in technology and understanding. John Glenn's Friendship 7 mission was particularly notable, as he became the first American to orbit the Earth. His flight lasted nearly 5 hours, completing 3 orbits. The tension of re-entry was immense, with a faulty sensor indicating the heat shield might be loose. Despite this, Glenn remained calm, and the mission was a triumph. His famous quote, "0G, and first feel fine," became a testament to the program's success and the astronauts' courage. The Mercury program laid the groundwork for future space exploration. It proved that humans could venture into space and return safely. The bravery of the Mercury 7 astronauts set the stage for the Gemini and Apollo programs, ultimately leading to the moon landing. Their legacy is one of courage, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of the unknown. The tension and triumph of those early missions continue to inspire, reminding us of the incredible feats humanity can achieve when we dare to reach for the stars. The Gemini program, preparing for the moon. The space race was in full swing, a high-stakes competition between the United States and the Soviet Union. Amidst this tense backdrop, the Gemini program emerged as a critical stepping stone towards the ultimate goal of landing humans on the moon. It was a time of incredible bravery, with astronauts volunteering for missions that pushed the boundaries of human achievement. These individuals, often referred to as the New Explorers, embodied the spirit of adventure and discovery that had driven humanity for centuries. Gemini's primary objectives were to test the endurance of astronauts and spacecraft in space, perfect re-entry and splashdown procedures, and demonstrate the ability to rendezvous and dock 2 spacecraft in orbit. These were not trivial tasks. Each mission required precise calculations, split-second decisions, and an unwavering commitment to the task at hand. Astronauts like Gus Grissom, John Young, and Ed White became household names, their faces a testament to the courage and determination that defined the era. Their missions were a series of triumphs and near misses, each one providing invaluable data for the upcoming Apollo program. The tension was palpable. Every launch was a gamble, every mission a roller coaster of emotions. Astronauts trained relentlessly, preparing for every conceivable scenario. They endured grueling simulations, physical tests, and mental challenges. Their bravery was not just in their willingness to strap themselves to a rocket and hurtle into the unknown, but also in their ability to remain calm and focused in the face of adversity. Ed White's spacewalk during Gemini 4, for instance, was a moment of pure triumph. As he floated outside his spacecraft, he famously quipped, First, I'm the naughtiest man in the universe right now. His words captured the exhilaration and freedom of the moment, a stark contrast to the meticulous planning and discipline that had brought him there. The Gemini program was a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. It laid the groundwork for the Apollo missions, proving that humans could not only survive in space, but also perform complex tasks. The lessons learned from Gemini were invaluable. They provided the confidence and knowledge needed to attempt the seemingly impossible, landing humans on the moon. The bravery of the astronauts, the dedication of the engineers, and the collective effort of thousands of people culminated in a series of missions that would forever change the course of human history. The Gemini program was not just about preparing for the moon. It was about pushing the boundaries of what was possible, about daring to dream, and then making those dreams a reality. The Apollo program, a new horizon. The Cold War's icy grip extended beyond Earth, sparking an intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. This competition, known as the space race, saw both superpowers vying for dominance in the final frontier. The Soviet Union had taken an early lead, launching the first satellite, Sputnik, and putting the first human, Yuri Gagarin, into space. The stakes were high, and the pressure was on for the United States to catch up. Enter the Apollo program, a bold and ambitious endeavor to land a man on the moon. It was an audacious goal, one that required immense resources, cutting-edge technology, and above all, extraordinary courage. At the heart of the Apollo program were the astronauts, ordinary men who volunteered for an extraordinary mission. They were test pilots, engineers, and scientists, each with a unique story and an unyielding spirit. They knew the risks. The journey to the moon was fraught with danger, and the margin for error was slim. Yet, they embraced the challenge, driven by a sense of duty, curiosity, and the thrill of exploration. Their bravery was palpable, a beacon of hope and inspiration for a nation and the world. As astronaut Frank Borman once said, exploration is really the essence of the human spirit. The tension was palpable as the world watched the Apollo 11 mission unfold. On July 20, 1969, the lunar module, Eagle, descended towards the moon's surface. Astronaut Neil Armstrong skillfully piloted the craft, his heart rate barely betraying the immense pressure he was under. With just seconds of fuel remaining, he found a safe spot and descended. The world held its breath as the lunar module touched down. Then, Armstrong's voice crackled over the radio. "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed." The tension melted into triumph, and the world erupted in celebration. Armstrong's famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," echoed around the globe, a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. The Apollo program had opened a new horizon, proving that the sky was not the limit, but merely the beginning. The Saturn V, a giant leap in rocket technology. The Saturn V rocket stands as a testament to human ingenuity and ambition, a towering marvel that propelled humanity beyond Earth's grasp and into the cosmos. Born from the fervor of the space race, it was a direct response to the technological rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. The rocket's development was spearheaded by Wernher von Braun, a German engineer whose work on the Fifth II rocket during World War II laid the groundwork for this monumental leap in rocket technology. The Saturn V was not just a vehicle. It was a symbol of hope, a beacon of progress, and a testament to the indomitable spirit of exploration. Standing at 363 feet tall, the Saturn V was the most powerful rocket ever brought to operational status, from a thrust standpoint, from the dawn of aviation to the present day. It could carry a payload of over 130 tons into low Earth orbit, a capacity unmatched by any other rocket of its time. The sheer size and power of the Saturn V were awe-inspiring, a testament to the incredible engineering feats achieved during the Apollo program. The rocket's 3 stages were designed to sequentially separate and fall away as the remaining stages' engines fired, maximizing efficiency and ensuring the spacecraft could reach the necessary velocities for lunar missions. The bravery of the astronauts who climbed aboard the Saturn V cannot be overstated. They were pioneers, venturing into the unknown with a courage that defied comprehension. As Neil Armstrong famously said, Mystery creates wonder, and wonder is the basis of man's desire to understand. These astronauts embodied that desire, pushing the boundaries of human achievement and inspiring generations to dream bigger and reach further. The tension and triumph of the lunar landings were palpable, a culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and unwavering belief in the possibility of the impossible. The Saturn V was not just a rocket. It was a gateway to the stars, a symbol of humanity's relentless pursuit of knowledge and exploration. Apollo 1, the first tragedy. The space race was in full swing, a high-stakes competition between the United States and the Soviet Union. It was a time of intense political tension, with each superpower eager to prove its technological superiority. Amidst this backdrop, the Apollo program was born, aiming to land a man on the moon. The first mission, Apollo 1, was intended to be a pivotal step in this journey. It was a time of great excitement and anticipation, but also of significant risk. The astronauts, Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee, were pioneers, volunteering for a mission that was as dangerous as it was groundbreaking. Their bravery was palpable, a testament to their commitment to exploration and discovery. The tension was palpable, not just in the control rooms, but also in the hearts of the astronauts. They knew the risks, the uncertainties, the potential for failure. Yet, they pressed on, driven by a sense of duty and a passion for space exploration. Gus Grissom, the commander of Apollo 1, famously quipped, "If we die, we want people to accept it. We're in a risky business, and we hope that if anything does happen to us, it will not delay the program. The conquest of space is worth the risk of life." His words echoed the sentiment of the era, a time when the thrill of discovery outweighed the fear of the unknown. The tragedy struck during a routine pre-launch test. A fire broke out in the command module, claiming the lives of all 3 astronauts. The incident was a stark reminder of the dangers of space exploration. It was a devastating blow to the Apollo program, but it was not in vain. The lessons learned from this tragedy led to significant improvements in the design and safety of the spacecraft. The bravery of Grissom, White, and Chaffee was not forgotten. Their legacy lived on, not just in the names of craters on the moon, but in the continued pursuit of space exploration. Their sacrifice was a poignant reminder of the human cost of reaching for the stars. Apollo 7, the first manned mission. The space race was in full swing, a high-stakes competition between the United States and the Soviet Union, each striving to prove technological superiority. Amidst this tense backdrop, the Apollo 7 mission marked a pivotal moment, being the first crewed Earth orbital test flight of the Apollo spacecraft. The mission was crewed by Wally Schirra, Don Isley, and Walter Cunningham, who bravely volunteered to test the Apollo Command/Service Module, CSM, in low Earth orbit. Their courage was palpable, knowing that every system they tested could mean the difference between life and death for future missions. The tension was palpable, both on the ground and in the spacecraft. The astronauts faced numerous challenges, including a fuel cell issue that required them to ration power and water. Despite these hurdles, they persevered, demonstrating the resilience and problem-solving skills that would be crucial for future lunar missions. Schirra's calm and steady leadership was evident when he famously quipped, "We've got one whole world sitting out here waiting for us to perform," reminding everyone of the global significance of their mission. The triumph of Apollo 7 was not in a dramatic landing or a moonwalk, but in the successful testing and validation of the Apollo spacecraft systems. The mission lasted nearly 11 days, during which the crew performed extensive tests, including rendezvous and docking maneuvers with the launch escape system. Their efforts paved the way for the subsequent Apollo missions, ultimately leading to the historic moon landing. The bravery of Schirra, Isley, and Cunningham was not in a single dramatic act, but in their steady, determined work in the face of uncertainty and risk. Their mission was a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of exploration. Apollo 8, orbiting the moon. The space race was in full swing, a high-stakes competition between the United States and the Soviet Union. The world watched, breathless, as each superpower sought to prove its technological superiority. Amidst this tension, the Apollo 8 mission emerged as a pivotal moment, a daring venture that would take humanity further into the cosmos than ever before. The crew, Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, and Bill Anders, were not just astronauts. They were pioneers, venturing into the unknown with courage that would echo through history. The journey to the moon was fraught with peril. Every stage of the mission was a testament to the bravery of the astronauts. As they orbited the moon, they became the first humans to see the far side of our lunar neighbor. The Earth rose over the lunar horizon, a fragile blue marble suspended in the vastness of space. Bill Anders captured this moment, a photograph that would become an icon of the human experience. "We came all this way to the moon," Anders remarked. "And yet the most significant thing we're seeing is our own home planet." This perspective shift was profound, a reminder of our shared humanity amidst the cold expanse of the cosmos. The tension of the mission was palpable. Every command, every maneuver, was a dance with the unknown. As they orbited the moon, the astronauts faced challenges that tested their mettle. The lunar module was not yet ready, so the command module had to serve as their lifeboat. The crew had to navigate using the Earth's magnetic field, a task that required precision and skill. Yet, they persevered, their bravery undeterred by the risks. Jim Lovell, reflecting on the mission, said, "We were just three ordinary guys who had been given an extraordinary job." Their triumph was not just a victory for the United States. It was a triumph for humanity, a testament to the indomitable spirit of exploration. The Apollo 8 mission was a turning point in the space race. It demonstrated the United States' capability to reach the moon, a feat that would ultimately lead to the historic Apollo 11 landing. The crew's bravery and the mission's success inspired a generation, igniting a passion for space exploration that endures to this day. As Frank Borman noted, "We were the first to leave the cradle of Earth and see the Earth as a planet." Their journey was a giant leap for mankind, a reminder of what we can achieve when we dare to dream and venture into the unknown. Apollo 9, Earth Orbit Trials. The space race was in full swing, a high-stakes game of technological prowess and national pride. Amidst this backdrop, the Apollo 9 mission stood as a testament to human ingenuity and courage. It was a dress rehearsal for the moon landing, a critical step in proving that the technology and procedures were ready for the lunar voyage. The astronauts, James McDivitt, David Scott, and Rusty Schweickart, were the unsung heroes of this mission, their bravery often overshadowed by the dramatic moon landings that followed. The tension was palpable as the Saturn V rocket roared to life, carrying the crew into Earth's orbit. This was the first time the lunar module, dubbed Spider, would be tested in space. The astronauts were tasked with proving that the module could separate from the command module, fly independently, and then redock. It was a complex ballet of spacecraft maneuvers, each step crucial for the success of future moon missions. The crew's calm professionalism belied the immense risks they were taking. As McDivitt later remarked, "We were just doing our job, but it was a job that very few people had ever done before." The triumph of Apollo 9 was not marked by a dramatic landing or a flag planting, but by the successful completion of each mission objective. The crew spent 10 days in space, meticulously testing the lunar module and command module systems. They performed extravehicular activities, demonstrating that astronauts could work outside the spacecraft in the harsh environment of space. The mission was a resounding success, paving the way for the historic Apollo 11 moon landing. The bravery of McDivitt, Scott, and Schweickart was evident in their unwavering focus and dedication, even as they faced the unknown dangers of space travel. Their efforts were a crucial link in the chain of events that would ultimately see humans set foot on the moon. Apollo 10, the dress rehearsal. The space race was in full swing, a high-stakes game of technological prowess and national pride. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a battle to prove their superiority, with the moon as the ultimate prize. It was against this backdrop that Apollo 10, the dress rehearsal for the historic moon landing, was launched. The mission was a critical step, a final dress rehearsal before the world watched as humanity attempted to set foot on the lunar surface. Apollo 10 carried a crew of 3 brave astronauts, Thomas P. Stafford, John W. Young, and Eugene A. Cernan. Their mission was to test the lunar module in lunar orbit, ensuring that the spacecraft could safely descend to the moon's surface and return to the command module. The astronauts were true pioneers, venturing where no human had gone before. Their courage and skill were instrumental in paving the way for the eventual moon landing. As Stafford later recalled, "We were the ones who had to make it work. We were the ones who had to make it happen." The tension was palpable as Apollo 10 approached the moon. The lunar module, nicknamed Snoopy, separated from the command module, Charlie Brown, and descended to within 8.4 nautical miles of the lunar surface. It was a heart-pounding moment, a testament to the bravery of the astronauts and the ingenuity of the engineers who made it possible. Cernan, looking out the window, described the moon's surface as a vast, lonely, forbidding expanse of nothing. Yet, despite the stark landscape, the mission proceeded flawlessly. The lunar module's systems performed as expected, and the astronauts successfully tested the procedures that would later be used in the historic Apollo 11 landing. The triumph of Apollo 10 was not just a technical achievement, it was a triumph of the human spirit. The astronauts faced immense challenges, from the physical demands of space travel to the psychological strain of being so far from home. Yet, they persevered, driven by a sense of duty and a desire to explore the unknown. As Young later reflected, "We were just doing our job, but it was a job that had never been done before." Their success set the stage for the ultimate triumph of the Apollo program, the first human landing on the moon. The dress rehearsal was over, and the world was ready for the main event. Apollo 11, one giant leap for mankind. The space race, a Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, set the stage for one of humanity's most audacious endeavors. It was a time of intense competition, with each superpower vying to prove technological superiority. The Soviets had already claimed several firsts, including the first satellite in space and the first human in orbit. The stakes were high, and the pressure was on for the United States to catch up. The Apollo program was born out of this context, a bold declaration that America would not back down from the challenge. At the heart of this endeavor were the astronauts, ordinary men who became extraordinary heroes. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins were not just pilots. They were pioneers, venturing into the unknown with courage and determination. Their mission, Apollo 11, was a testament to their bravery. As Armstrong later reflected, "It's a bit like walking on the bottom of the ocean, but with no water." The sheer audacity of their task was not lost on them. They knew the risks, the uncertainties, and the potential for failure. Yet, they pressed on, driven by a sense of duty and the thrill of exploration. The tension leading up to the lunar landing was palpable. Millions around the world held their breath as the Eagle lunar module descended towards the moon's surface. Armstrong's calm, steady voice guided the module, his famous words, "Houston, we have a problem," echoing through history. The world watched, transfixed, as the module dodged boulders and craters, searching for a safe landing spot. Then, finally, "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed." The tension dissolved into triumph. Armstrong's first step onto the lunar surface, his words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," marked a pivotal moment in human history. It was a triumph not just for the United States, but for all of humanity, a testament to what we can achieve when we dare to dream big and strive for the stars. The Eagle has landed. The space race, a Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, had been heating up for over a decade. The Soviets had taken an early lead, launching the first satellite, Sputnik, and putting the first human, Yuri Gagarin, into space. The stakes were high, and the world watched as the two superpowers competed for dominance in space. It was against this backdrop that the United States Apollo program was born, aiming to land a man on the moon and safely return him to Earth. The journey was fraught with challenges, but the bravery and determination of the astronauts were unmatched. On July 20, 1969, the world held its breath as the Apollo 11 lunar module, named Eagle, descended towards the moon's surface. Astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin "Buzz" Aldrin were inside, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. The mission had already faced numerous hurdles, from the fiery launch to the delicate maneuver of inserting the spacecraft into lunar orbit. Now, they were about to attempt something never done before, a powered descent to the moon's surface. The tension was palpable, both for the astronauts and the millions watching back on Earth. As the Eagle approached the moon, Armstrong took manual control, skillfully navigating the lunar module to avoid a boulder-strewn area. The fuel was running low, and the mission was on the verge of being aborted. Then, Armstrong spotted a clear spot and guided the Eagle towards it. The descent engine roared, kicking up a cloud of lunar dust. At 20,000 feet, Armstrong radioed, "Houston, we're go for landing." The tension was unbearable. At 30 feet, the lunar module's computer sounded alarms, warning of potential hazards. But Armstrong remained calm, his hands steady on the controls. Then, with just seconds of fuel left, the Eagle touched down. Armstrong's voice crackled over the radio. "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed." The world erupted in cheers. The bravery of Armstrong and Aldrin had paid off. They had accomplished what many thought was impossible. Armstrong's famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," echoed around the globe, marking a pivotal moment in human history. The Eagle had landed, and humanity had taken its first steps onto the surface of another celestial body. It was a triumph of human ingenuity, courage, and perseverance. The space race had reached its climax, and the United States had emerged victorious. But more importantly, the world had witnessed a moment of unity, as people from all corners of the globe celebrated this shared achievement. The Eagle's landing was not just an American victory, it was a victory for all of humanity. Armstrong and Aldrin on the lunar surface. The space race, a Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, had reached its zenith. The world watched, breathless, as humanity stood on the precipice of an unprecedented achievement. Against this backdrop, the Apollo 11 mission was launched, carrying astronauts Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Edwin "Buzz" Aldrin. The mission's ultimate goal was to land humans on the moon and return them safely to Earth. The bravery of these astronauts was palpable, their resolve unwavering as they ventured into the unknown. On July 20, 1969, the lunar module, named Eagle, separated from the command module and began its descent to the moon's surface. Armstrong and Aldrin, the two astronauts aboard the Eagle, faced a harrowing 13-minute descent, manually navigating the module to avoid a boulder-strewn landing site. Armstrong's calm, steady voice guided the module down, his heart rate barely betraying the tension of the moment. As the Eagle's engine cut out, Armstrong uttered the now famous words, "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed." The world erupted in cheers, the tension of the past decade dissolving into triumph. Hours later, Armstrong descended the lunar module's ladder, his boots touching the powdery lunar surface. His words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," echoed around the globe, encapsulating the monumental achievement. Aldrin soon joined him, the two astronauts exploring the desolate landscape, planting the American flag, and collecting lunar samples. Their movements were broadcast live, a testament to human ingenuity and courage. The bravery of Armstrong and Aldrin was not just in their physical journey, but also in their ability to inspire, to remind humanity of its potential to reach for the stars. The historic moonwalk. The space race, a Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, set the stage for one of humanity's most audacious achievements, the moon landing. It was a time of intense competition, with each superpower vying to prove technological superiority. The Soviet Union had already claimed several firsts, including the first satellite in space and the first human in orbit. The stakes were high, and the pressure was on for the United States to catch up. The Apollo program was born out of this urgency, a bold mission to land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth. On July 20, 1969, the world held its breath as the Apollo 11 lunar module, Eagle, descended towards the moon's surface. Astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were inside, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and exhilaration. Mission control in Houston, Texas, was tense, the air thick with anticipation. Armstrong skillfully maneuvered the module, searching for a safe landing spot amidst the rocky lunar terrain. With just seconds of fuel remaining, He found a clear area and guided Eagle down. "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed," Armstrong radioed, his voice calm and steady. The tension melted into jubilation. They had done it. They were on the moon. The world watched in awe as Armstrong stepped onto the lunar surface, his boots sinking slightly into the powdery regolith. "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," he declared, his words echoing through history. The phrase captured the essence of the moment, a testament to human ingenuity and courage. Armstrong was followed by Aldrin, and together they explored the desolate landscape, collecting samples and planting an American flag. Their movements were broadcast live, a testament to the technological prowess that made the mission possible. Back on Earth, people gathered around televisions, their faces alight with pride and wonder. It was a triumph not just for the United States, but for all of humanity. The moonwalk was a testament to the bravery of the astronauts. Armstrong and Aldrin knew the risks. The mission was fraught with uncertainties and dangers. Yet, they pressed on, driven by a sense of duty and the thrill of exploration. Their courage inspired a generation, sparking an interest in science and space exploration that endures to this day. The moonwalk was more than just a technological achievement. It was a symbol of human potential, a reminder that with determination and ingenuity, we can overcome even the most daunting challenges. The images of Armstrong and Aldrin on the moon, their silhouettes stark against the lunar landscape, remain etched in the collective memory of humanity, a testament to the indomitable spirit of exploration. Apollo 12, precision landing. The space race was in full swing, a high-stakes competition between the United States and the Soviet Union. The world watched, breathless, as each superpower pushed the boundaries of human achievement. Amidst this tense backdrop, the Apollo 12 mission stood out, not just for its scientific objectives, but for its daring precision landing. Astronauts Pete Conrad, Alan Bean, and Richard Gordon were the crew, each a paragon of courage and skill. Their mission? To land near the Surveyor 3 probe, a task that demanded extraordinary precision. The tension was palpable as the Apollo 12 spacecraft descended towards the lunar surface. Lightning had struck the Saturn V rocket during launch, a harrowing event that could have ended the mission before it truly began. Yet, the astronauts remained calm, their training and bravery shining through. As they approached the moon, the landscape below was a stark, cratered expanse. Conrad, the mission commander, skillfully maneuvered the lunar module, his eyes fixed on the target. "Give me a little more power," he requested, his voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. The world held its breath as the lunar module, intrepid, touched down with barely 25 seconds of fuel remaining. Conrad's triumphant words echoed through mission control. "We are on the footpad, and we are secure." The precision of the Apollo 12 landing was a testament to human ingenuity and the astronauts' unyielding resolve. They had landed within walking distance of the Surveyor 3 probe, a feat that showcased the incredible advancements in space technology. The mission's success was a turning point in the space race, proving that the United States could not only reach the moon, but do so with remarkable accuracy. The bravery of Conrad, Bean, and Gordon was celebrated worldwide, their names etched into the annals of space exploration history. Their journey to the moon was not just a scientific endeavor, but a triumph of the human spirit, a reminder of what can be achieved when courage and determination converge. Apollo 13, Houston, we've had a problem. The space race was in full swing, a tense dance between two superpowers vying for dominance in the final frontier. The United States, spurred by President Kennedy's 1961 pledge to land a man on the moon, had already achieved several milestones with the Apollo program. Apollo 11 had successfully put the first humans on the lunar surface, and Apollo 12 had followed suit, demonstrating the program's growing confidence and capability. The world watched, enthralled, as humanity pushed the boundaries of exploration. Amidst this backdrop of triumph and competition, Apollo 13 launched, carrying astronauts Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes. Their mission was to explore the From Morrow Highlands, a region believed to be rich in scientific potential. The crew was seasoned, their bravery and competence well established. Lovell, a veteran of Apollo 8, was no stranger to the challenges of spaceflight. Swigert and Hayes, though rookies, were highly skilled and dedicated. Their journey was supposed to be routine, another step in humanity's march across the cosmos. But space is an unforgiving environment, and routine is a luxury that can vanish in an instant. About 2 days into the mission, an oxygen tank in the service module exploded, crippling the spacecraft. The infamous words, "Houston, we've had a problem," echoed through the Mission Control Center, a stark reminder of the ever-present dangers of space exploration. The tension was palpable, a mix of fear and determination. The astronauts, faced with life-threatening circumstances, remained calm and focused. Their bravery shone through as they worked tirelessly with Mission Control to devise a plan to bring them home safely. The next few days were a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. The crew and ground control worked around the clock, transforming the lunar module into a lifeboat. Resources were scarce, and every decision was a matter of life and death. The world held its breath as the damaged spacecraft hurtled back towards Earth. The tension reached its peak during the re-entry phase, a critical moment that could mean the difference between life and death. As the command module splashed down safely in the Pacific Ocean, a collective sigh of relief echoed around the globe. The triumph of Apollo 13 was not in its original mission objectives, but in the extraordinary effort that brought the crew home. Their bravery and the collective genius of NASA turned a potential tragedy into a story of hope and resilience. Apollo 14, Science and Exploration. The space race was a high-stakes game of technological one-upmanship, a Cold War battleground where the United States and the Soviet Union vied for supremacy. Against this backdrop, the Apollo program emerged as America's audacious response to the Soviet Union's early successes in space. The bravery of the astronauts, the engineers, and the scientists involved cannot be overstated. They were pioneers, venturing into the unknown with a mix of trepidation and exhilaration. As Alan Shepard, one of the Mercury 7 astronauts, put it, "We're in this business to explore, and exploration by its nature involves risk." This spirit of exploration and courage was epitomized in the Apollo 14 mission. Apollo 14, launched following the successful moon landing of Apollo 11, was a testament to humanity's enduring curiosity and determination. The mission's primary objectives were scientific, focusing on lunar sample collection, geological observations, and the deployment of the Apollo Lunar Surface Experiments Package, ALSEP. Astronauts Alan Shepard, Stuart Roosa, and Edgar Mitchell embarked on this journey, carrying the hopes and dreams of a world watching with bated breath. The tension was palpable, a reminder of the high stakes and the immense challenges they faced. The landing itself was a triumph of human ingenuity and bravery. Shepard and Mitchell descended to the lunar surface in the lunar module Antares, while Roosa orbited overhead in the command module Kitty Hawk. The lunar module's landing was not without its share of drama. As they approached the From Morrow Highlands, Shepard and Mitchell had to manually override the automatic landing system to avoid a crater. With fuel running low and hearts pounding, they successfully touched down, marking another milestone in humanity's journey to the moon. Shepard's words upon landing, "Houston, we've got a bunch of guys down here that are looking around and they can't believe it," captured the awe and wonder of the moment. Once on the lunar surface, the astronauts set about their scientific tasks with meticulous care. They collected over 94 pounds of lunar samples, deployed the ALSEP to study the moon's seismic activity and the solar wind, and conducted numerous experiments. One of the most memorable moments was Shepard's impromptu golf shot on the lunar surface, a lighthearted moment that showcased the astronauts' humor and humanity. The mission's success was a testament to the bravery and dedication of the astronauts, as well as the countless individuals who supported them from Earth. Apollo 14's legacy endures, a reminder of what humanity can achieve when we dare to explore the unknown. Apollo 15, the first lunar rover. The space race was a high-stakes drama, a Cold War battleground where the United States and the Soviet Union vied for supremacy. It was a time of tension, of late-night calculations, and of astronauts strapped into machines that were, in many ways, experimental. The Apollo program was America's audacious response to the Soviet Union's early successes in space. It was a bold declaration that the US would not be outdone, that they would go further, higher, faster. And so, they set their sights on the moon. Apollo 15, the ninth manned mission in the Apollo program, was a testament to human ingenuity and courage. It marked a significant milestone, the first use of a lunar roving vehicle, LRV, fondly known as the moon buggy. This wasn't just a joyride. It was a critical tool that allowed astronauts to explore the lunar surface more extensively than ever before. The LRV could traverse the moon's harsh terrain, carrying astronauts and their equipment, and it was a marvel of engineering, designed to fold up neatly into the lunar module for the journey to the moon. The bravery of the Apollo 15 astronauts, David Scott, Alfred Wardens, and James Irwin, cannot be overstated. They were pioneers, venturing into the unknown, their lives dependent on technology that was cutting-edge but untested in the harsh realities of space. As Scott famously said, "The desire to fly is an idea handed down to us by our ancestors who looked enviously at the birds soaring freely through space. The urge to fly is universal." This urge drove them, as it had driven humanity for centuries, to push boundaries and explore. The tension of the mission was palpable. Every second of the journey was a dance with danger, a balancing act between risk and reward. The lunar module, Falcon, descended to the moon's surface, kicking up dust that obscured the astronauts' view. It was a heart-pounding moment, a test of skill and nerve. But Scott and Irwin, with steady hands and unwavering focus, guided the module safely to the surface. The triumph was immense, a moment of pure exhilaration. They had done it. They were on the moon, ready to unleash the LRV and explore the lunar landscape like never before. The moon buggy, a symbol of human achievement, rolled out, ready to carry them on their historic journey. Apollo 16, the deserts of the moon. The space race, a Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, had reached a fever pitch. The Apollo program, America's ambitious endeavor to land a man on the moon, was in full swing. Apollo 16, the fifth mission to land on the lunar surface, was set to explore the lunar highlands, a region often referred to as the deserts of the moon due to its stark, barren landscape. The astronauts, Commander John Young, Lunar Module Pilot Charles Duke, and Command Module Pilot Ken Mattingly, were about to embark on a journey that would test their mettle and push the boundaries of human exploration. The tension was palpable as the Saturn V rocket roared to life, propelling the crew towards the moon. The journey was fraught with risks, and the astronauts knew that one miscalculation could spell disaster. Yet, they pressed on, driven by a sense of duty and an insatiable curiosity. As the lunar module, named Orion, descended towards the moon's surface, Young and Duke were met with a landscape that was both alien and awe-inspiring. The lunar highlands, with their craters and mountains, were a stark contrast to the smooth, dark plains of the lunar Maria explored by previous missions. The landing itself was a heart-pounding affair. As Orion descended, the lunar module's computer was overwhelmed by the task of navigating the treacherous terrain. Young, a seasoned astronaut with a reputation for coolness under pressure, took manual control. With the fuel gauge edging towards empty, he skillfully guided the module to a safe landing. As the lunar module touched down, Young radioed back to Earth. "Houston, Orion is on the ground. We are on the plains of Descartes." The triumph was palpable, a testament to human ingenuity and bravery. During their 3 days on the moon, Young and Duke conducted a series of experiments and collected samples that would provide valuable insights into the moon's geological history. They traversed the lunar surface in their lunar rover, a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. Duke, in a moment of reflection, left behind a family photo on the lunar surface, a poignant reminder of the human element in this grand adventure. As they prepared to leave, Duke said, "As first take man's last step from the surface, back home for some time to come, but we believe not too long into the future. First, I'd like to again thank that spirit of exploration that's in us." Their journey was a triumph of human spirit, a testament to the bravery of the astronauts who dared to venture into the unknown. Apollo 17, the final mission. The space race, a Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, had reached its zenith. The world watched, breathless, as humanity's quest to conquer the cosmos unfolded. Apollo 17, the final mission of NASA's Apollo program, was a testament to human ingenuity and courage. It was the last time humans set foot on the moon, a stark reminder of the challenges and triumphs of space exploration. The crew of Apollo 17, Commander Eugene Cernan, Lunar Module Pilot Harrison Schmitt, and Command Module Pilot Ronald Evans, embodied the bravery and determination of the era. Schmitt, a geologist, was the first scientist astronaut to land on the moon. Their mission was ambitious: to explore the Taurus-Latrobe Valley, an area suspected to be rich in lunar history. The tension was palpable as they approached the moon's surface. Cernan's words, "We're descending, looking forward to touching down on the moon," echoed the anticipation of a world holding its breath. The landing was a triumph of precision and skill. As the lunar module, Challenger, descended, Cernan and Schmitt navigated treacherous terrain, avoiding boulders and craters. Schmitt later recalled, "It was a bit like driving a car through a rocky field at night." Their successful landing was met with cheers and relief. Over the next 3 days, they conducted experiments, collected samples, and explored the lunar surface. Their bravery and scientific contributions were invaluable, leaving an indelible mark on humanity's journey to the stars. The legacy of the Apollo program. The Cold War's icy grip extended beyond Earth, sparking an intense competition between the United States and the Soviet Union. This space race, fueled by political tensions and technological prowess, set the stage for humanity's most audacious adventure, the Apollo program. The bravery of the astronauts, often understated, was monumental. They were not just pilots, but pioneers, venturing into the unknown with the entire world watching. Their courage was palpable, a testament to human spirit and ingenuity. Tension filled the air as the Saturn V rocket roared to life, carrying the hopes and dreams of a nation. The journey to the moon was fraught with challenges, each step a testament to human perseverance. Astronauts like Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins became household names, their voices echoing through history. Armstrong's words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," marked a pivotal moment, a triumph of human achievement. The lunar module, Eagle, touched down on the moon's surface, a feat that seemed impossible just a decade earlier. The legacy of the Apollo program is etched in the annals of history, a beacon of human potential. It inspired generations, igniting a passion for science, technology, and exploration. The bravery of the astronauts, their unwavering commitment to the mission, continues to resonate. Their journey was not just about reaching the moon. It was about pushing the boundaries of what is possible. The Apollo program's impact is still felt today, a reminder of what humanity can achieve when united by a common goal. It's a legacy of courage, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of the unknown. The end of an era. The space race, a Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, had been a tense and exhilarating chapter in human history. It was a time when the world held its breath, watching as these two superpowers hurled themselves into the cosmos, each striving to outdo the other. The stakes were high, and the bravery of the astronauts, both American and Soviet, was nothing short of extraordinary. They were the pioneers, the explorers of a new frontier, venturing into the unknown with courage that echoed the spirit of the great explorers of old. The tension reached its zenith with the Apollo program. The United States, spurred on by President John F. Kennedy's 1961 pledge to land a man on the moon before the end of the decade, poured resources and intellect into the endeavor. The astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, were the epitome of this national effort. Their mission, Apollo 11, was a testament to human ingenuity and determination. As Armstrong descended the lunar module's ladder, his heart rate soaring, he uttered the now immortal words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." It was a moment of triumph, a culmination of years of hard work, sacrifice, and daring. Yet, the end of the Apollo era was not a conclusion, but a transition. The moon landings had captured the world's imagination, but they had also raised questions. What next? The bravery of the astronauts had shown what was possible, But the future of space exploration was uncertain. The Apollo program had ended, but the spirit of exploration it embodied lived on. The astronauts, the scientists, the engineers, they had opened a door, and the world was left to wonder what lay beyond. The end of an era, indeed, but also the beginning of a new one. As the dust settled on the lunar surface, humanity took its first steps into a new era. The Apollo program wasn't just a race to the moon. It was a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and our unyielding spirit of exploration. In the midst of a tense Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a battle not just for supremacy on Earth, but for the future of space exploration. President John F. Kennedy's challenge in 1961 to land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth set the stage for one of the most remarkable achievements in human history. The astronauts of the Apollo missions were not just pilots. They were pioneers, venturing into the unknown with a bravery that echoed the explorers of old. As Neil Armstrong descended the lunar module's ladder, his heart rate soaring, he carried the hopes and dreams of billions. When he stepped onto the lunar surface and uttered those immortal words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," he didn't just mark a moment in history. He redefined what was possible. The tension of the landing, the triumph of the mission, and the sheer audacity of the endeavor captured the world's imagination. It was a moment of unity, a shared human experience that transcended borders and ideologies. The Apollo program reminded us that, despite our differences, we are all explorers at heart, driven by curiosity and the desire to push the boundaries of our understanding. As we look back on these extraordinary achievements, we are reminded of the power of human ambition and the importance of reaching for the stars. The legacy of the Apollo program lives on in every satellite that orbits our planet, every rover that explores distant worlds, and every dreamer who looks up at the night sky and wonders what lies beyond. So, as we continue to explore the cosmos, let us remember the lessons of the past and the bravery of those who dared to go where no one had gone before. The journey to the moon was just the beginning. The future of space exploration is bright, and it's up to us to keep reaching for the stars. Stay tuned for more incredible stories of human achievement and the next giant leaps that await us in the final frontier.